Someone made the mistake of showing me a website that allows you to create AI-based music, and I might have been having too much fun with it during the weekend. Okay, I'll start with the usual. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Welcome to our AMA. I've missed you all. It's been 2 whole weeks, even though now we have to get used to it because, as you might have seen, according to your decision and based on what we already had discussed internally, of course, we are now going to change our weekly AMA to bi-weekly AMA, which is kind of fun because it will involve me probably having to cancel this entire event. I'll try. I'll spend some time this afternoon trying to see if I can just change the settings here on Discord. If not, if you see the event disappearing from the side, don't panic. It's just me having to redo the entire thing from scratch. But right now, I know it does still say MK Weekly AMA. I decided not to touch it for now until we did this one, not to panic everyone because of that. Some updates because it has been 2 weeks. Half an hour ago, we could finally release some information about what's going on with this partnership that we teased a bit, but we couldn't reveal much because of the NDA. So we have partnered with this online casino, this crypto online casino called Pigmo. Thus, the several mentioned two pigs with the emojis. It isn't live yet, but they agreed to start a bit of campaign to bring awareness to it. And if you have Twitter, or if you have access to Twitter, head out into our account. The latest post is a Gleam campaign, which basically gives you access to a small giveaway to earn some MK and one of Pigmo's NFTs. This is provided by the two partners. And if all goes well, the latest information we got is this week still MK should be live in that platform. And that pretty much means that anyone that has MK can use it to participate in any of the casino activities that happen in Pigmo, which means MK now has more utility than it had, or will have more utility than it had before. Not sure if Matt wants to add anything or if I just spilled all the beans already.
I think those were all of the beans.
I spilled all the beans. No beans were left. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, the goal here obviously is not only giving MK a bit more utility, but also bringing MK to a target audience that we know has interest in betting with crypto. And that's actually something that they have on their side in quite large quantities. They also have not just the Ethereum network, they also have some Solana tokens there. In fact, Pigmo token, if I'm not mistaken, is actually on the Solana network. So if you go over there, you will see both networks well represented according to them. Their community and their members actually are divided roughly 50% to each side. And that's pretty much it for me. The devlog will be published afterwards. I was literally finishing it, but I decided to publish it afterwards, not to spill even more beans, in case Matt wants to share some more information. But yikes, guys! You kind of went a bit crazy with the betting this week. I can tell you, it was 25 million MKs this week alone that were betted. Okay, Matt, any updates on your side?
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty crazy amount of volume, for the week betting in MK. So, I mean, updates from my end. The team, at least from on the back end side, has had a couple people out. Myself included for a bit there because I was feeling a little under the weather, but we've also had a couple of key individuals on the development side that have been out unexpectedly, just for human-related things, but should be seeing them back in the saddle and producing hopefully in the next day or so. So on that front, it's been relatively quiet, but at the same time, we are still plotting and planning for our next steps forward once we get back up to speed. So I know that a lot of people have been anxiously awaiting the release of that next build, and I'm assuming that when the team gets back to full capacity, we will be aiming to release that build because at last report, it seemed as though that all of the issues had been mitigated through testing. So we should have a build ready to deploy, again, just depending on when everybody gets back into the seats. But outside of that, I'm excited that this next release will resolve a lot of the issues that people experienced, specifically on the mobile side of things. So should be able to open up to a wider community that was feeling a little bit left out because they were unable to play using their mobile device for one reason or another. So yeah. So Hermes, I think from what I understood, there's plenty of questions and stuff. So
I was gonna say there's plenty of questions. So today we might do something a bit different. I'm gonna start with the written questions today because there's quite a lot of them. We're gonna try and answer all of them. Might not be possible because there's quite a bit. I did go through them a bit before, especially because you guys keep commenting on the VC questions channel. No, bad people. So the reason why I delete some of the messages there is because it's questions. If you want comments, that we have the general chat. We have lots of chats that you can use. Okay, let's start with VC questions. So one question that we've been getting a lot is one that is Zeus still part of the team? I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, so Zeus was a part of the team for a limited period of time. And I say limited period of time, meaning that that he was engaging. He had, I believe that he had indicated, had some other like personal things that he was in real life that he was also attributing his time to. I know that he's still in and amongst the community, but in terms of providing day-to-day support, we haven't kind of come to a solid description like the level of his interaction or his level of service with the project. Definitely still around. I know that he's around on Discord occasionally, and he's still out there on Twitter as well. And I look forward to having a conversation with him here in the near future about at what point or what level he wants to reengage and provide support to the community.
Okay. This is a long one, so bear with me. Why are people? Sorry, I'm here. Why are people selling at its all-time low? Most likely, some people didn't buy for a higher price or got their coins for free, aka staking rewards or arena wins. So we have a constant drain of coins getting sold. The team would have to buy the rewards given to their community to stop the price drop. This is the only way to keep the wallet inside the bucket, and it's filled over and over again. This means buying over and over again. So how can this actually be stopped? What's the plan? Of course, marketing and some centralized exchanges would fix it, but I don't see that is the team's priority right now. So basically, the question is there any plans at the moment to lower the cycle that's at the moment lowering the price?
I mean, so the fundamental setup of that question is that's not something that I can really speak to, like why people would sell at all-time low. I mean, that's on them. That's I'm sure everyone has their personal reasons. From what I can see from our end, from a data standpoint, it would appear that there's a number of individuals that have kind of made MK like their job. They spend an inordinate amount of time in the arena wagering every single day, upwards of 12 to 14 hours a day, and every last bit of wins or gains is liquidated almost on schedule on a daily basis. So there is a number of pretty much guaranteed liquidation of project resources that happens because it's obviously that's the aim. There's I think a pretty decent amount of people too that hold their tokens because they see the long-term value, but there's a difference. There's a disparity between those that are in the project because they see a long-term value and they support the project, and then the other people that are simply just here just to extract as much liquidity from the project on a daily basis. And so when the price is depressed or it's down, the people that are just pulling liquidity as a means to enrich themselves, there's not much that we can do about that. What we can do from a project perspective is continue to work every day to provide a value proposition for people that are interested in the project. So.
Okay. Question about the staking, because there's going to be a couple of them. I'll try not to repeat them. Since the first staking pool is soon coming to an end, could you please tell us with precision the following? From where will the tokens for the second pool come from, and how many tokens will be in it?
Yeah, so I mean the first part of that was where will the tokens come from? It's from the project's reserves. So the project does have an allocation of tokens set aside for additional staking. The specific amount we will release once we have replenished the staking pool. Yeah, I mean, it's, we can't mint any more MK tokens in the future, and so there is a finite amount of supply, as well as we also have to acknowledge that a lot of the sell pressure that we've experienced over the last few months is directly attributed to staking rewards. Now, we definitely want to reward those who have staked and continue to stake, but at the same time, there has to come a point where we stop, applying sell pressure to our project's value simply just to try to attract new investors. And so we will be making an official statement on staking and what the future of staking looks like in terms of that, the value of that, in the days ahead. And I know that we're getting super close to that point. So I would anticipate possibly later this week or the beginning of next week that an official statement from the team, along with what action we've taken on staking, will happen.
Okay, and I'm going to jump a bit ahead because I know some of you are going to ask this. This announcement will be given with time, so you don't have to worry about, oh, my tokens are locked into staking or anything like that. So don't panic about the 10-day period. Okay. Next question is also related to tokenomics. I took a look at the tokenomics again. It says pre-sale 50%, DEX 10%, community rewards 10%, staking pool and battle reward 30%. So out of the 36 million composing of the two pools, 8 million are the battle rewards, as you previously said, and the rest is the staking pool, which according to my calculations is already empty. 36 million minus 8 million equals 28 million, which is less than the 28.5 million staking rewards that were already distributed. Could you clear that up for us?
Yeah, I mean, so we'll release like an actual official statement on that instead of me just off the top of my head flicking out figures. But yeah, I mean, so the original allocation for tokenomics obviously has, it has accounted for what was already in the staking pool, but there is an additional surplus of tokens that we could be repurposing or applying towards staking. But my preference on that is going to be to put it in the form of an actual articulated written statement. So that's what we'll do.
Okay, next question. This is going to be a lot of staking questions, by the way, Matt, so be ready for that. Further questions in regard to staking. Will there be a change to tokenomics by using the tokens allocated for community rewards for further staking? The contract is announced, so creating more of it is off the table, I suppose. Matt already has addressed this. So where's the next staking come from?
From the, I mean, what exactly is the question?
So I'm guessing you actually reading it out loud. Actually, I think you already answered because you mentioned that there's the reserves for it.
Avoid answering the same question 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I started one way, and halfway through, I realized that this has actually been answered. What will be the new staking model? Any vesting? A more reasonable API, for example, 20%?
Yeah, I mean, again, I've already mentioned it in regards to the staking. That there obviously will be some updates and changes, and my preference is to provide that in an actual written statement that will get published later this week or at the latest early next week, to correlate with the team's actions around staking.
Okay, so that covers basically the other two, which is what will happen because the next AMA is after the anniversary, and then will happen anything behind the scenes, or do we need to do something? So everything will be clarified in this official announcement instead of just being said here. The last few days showed us that a couple of large players are enough to control token price, either by creating panic sales, shorting tokens, or having big wins. Isn't it in the team's best interest to launch the real marketing campaign, start listing on exchanges so we can beat the large sell pressure, and even more thanks to more than half of the supply being staked? Rewards will not continue at this rate much longer, so we need to break out of this red period. Or am I missing something in the strategy?
What exactly is the question?
So the question here is if there's a strategy to beat this spiral that's going on at the moment, where very large holders can actually control the price more than they should because there's not much going on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free market, right? You know, we don't prevent or control people who buy into the project, and we don't control what they do with their supply once they've purchased it. So, I mean, I can't necessarily speak to the intentions of people, mostly because I don't know who they are. That's the whole point of Web3, right? The anonymity of it. So, in terms of what the team's action or response is, we will continue to, do what we can to provide value for the project and to continue to build and move the project forward. We're still here a year later, doing the exact thing that we indicated that we set out to do, and that we will continue to do just that. And so I've said it many of times before on previous AMAs that my focus has always been and will continue to be on moving forward to provide value to the platform, and then in that direction, that the value of the overall token that's associated with this project should see the increase in that value as well. So a lot of the questions, a lot of the feedback is all hyper focused on very succinct, very short periods of time, which it's not lost on me that more often than not that's because somebody is wanting a higher valuation so that they can sell their tokens, and so getting called out consistently and on an ongoing basis for token value and token price, that I really don't know what to say about that. What I can say is that the team is still hyper focused on continuing to deliver and provide value from a technological standpoint on the project, and we're still here a year later doing just that. And that's what our continued focus is going to be.
Okay. And in the meantime, there's a question from the chat which is related to this, which is why not use marketing and centralized exchanges to get more visibility and more players and more of everything, especially like the more of everything?
Yeah, I mean, we've over the many months have talked to a number of centralized exchanges, or at least attempted to connect with a number of centralized exchanges. More than half of those turned out to be either unethical or shady, individuals. It's really hard to, and it's easy for some people to say like, just do this, just do that. And the Web3 landscape is not the easiest to work with other people, and so we have now kind of refocused a portion of our team to working on efforts like that. It's not. it's not as simple as snapping my fingers. And like I've mentioned before, I've largely moved out of the role of doing the actual hands-on marketing or making making things happen on the marketing side. So I've focused more on the development side because again, that's where I think that the true value behind the project lies.
Okay, next question. What is happening with the upcoming game update?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already mentioned that, I think, at the beginning of the call. So we're just waiting for a couple of key individuals of our team to return to work because of personal reasons, and then I would anticipate that the deployment will take place.
Okay. And now, instead of providing liquidity for the new staking pool in October, would you consider providing that liquidity to a tier 2 centralized exchange for listing instead? Can we put this to the community to vote? So this is actually the question. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to commit one way or another. I understand there's a number of people that have a firm belief that that a centralized exchange is the holy grail that's going to just blow this project to the next level. I personally don't believe that to be the case. But I'm definitely open to hearing and receiving the community's feedback on that. But if the answer is for me to make a decision on this call, that's not really how things work on our team. It's not that type of a decision-making structure. I like to work alongside our team. So.
Okay. Can you confirm that buybacks are still planned, and how much is set aside for that?
Yeah, I'm not really in a position to comment on that on this call today. Again, because it's all ties back to the same thing, right? Is that people are wanting the token price higher, and they're wanting to know how the team is going to fix that for them. When I've now said it probably 4 times on this call alone, and many times over the last few months, that my focus and my intention is to continue to provide value to the actual platform itself. Hyper focusing on the token. The token is not the project. The platform is the project. And so if you guys are just in the project simply just to speculate on the token, well then I apologize if I haven't made that clear, but the platform is the project. That's what we're building. That's what we're continuing to build. The token's already been launched. It's been sent off. And I firmly believe that as we continue to develop the platform and we continue to improve it and make improvements and adjustments, then the value of that will come along with it. But yeah.
All right. There is a question which is a bit more specific about the update, which is, can you confirm what exactly will be in the next update? I'm not sure if you want to list what we already know.
Yeah, we will. I mean, haven't you already mentioned that in previous devlogs?
We've been mentioning it, so we will have definitely the new backgrounds. There'll be improvements to the memory leaks, and I'm not sure if you want to mention the current solution for the iOSs, or if you aren't completely sure. So don't overpromise it, and then in the end doesn't end up being that solution.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain level of internal testing that we've done, and we feel like we've patched a lot of issues. There's also some additional battle sequences that have been built in, but just making sure that that also doesn't break anything in terms of the current data. Sorry, I was trying to read and think at the same time. but yeah, I mean, so there's just a number of, especially as time goes on, right? The package that it will be shipped with the next update just kind of swells and it gets a little bit bigger. But a lot of it has been around site, like the actual arena performance, because I'm sure that some of you have noticed it as well as I have over the last couple months that just depending on how much utilities that it's using from your machine, the arena can behave. Like sometimes characters disappear altogether. Sometimes some ending sequences don't even happen, or they repeat themselves. I mean, this is all about the amount of memory and the draw on your machine, and then also at a web page level as well. So the new build fixes a vast majority of these performance issues, and I think that the overall look and feel will feel a little bit more streamlined and more performant. But yes, also additionally adding in some additional backgrounds and sounds as well. So.
Question about betting. Would you consider raising the betting limit to attract higher rollers to play our game? So at the moment we're limited at 10k, if memory doesn't fail me.
I mean, at the moment, I don't think that we have any intention on raising the betting limit. Mostly just because at a per battle, the current betting limit is per, even with the current token price. That's a pretty significant chunk of change on an individual basis. Now, with that being said, there's nothing that prevents people, and I know that there's a few individuals that have done this. There's nothing to prevent individuals from having multiple instances of the arena running at once, especially if you have a machine that can handle that much, web page loading and web page performance. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, we don't really have any intention on raising the betting limit from where it's at.
I'll even ping you on this one. Matt, I don't see any solution regarding the new staking pool. Are you hoping the price to fall much more and buy back like X% to create that pool?
That am I hoping for the price to fall? No. I mean,
no. Basically, the question is basically they're kind of wondering whether the new content, or the new, so to speak, the tokens for the pool will come from. So they're asking if those tokens will come from buybacks, and then a new pool will be created from it.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to defer people to what I've already said a couple of times, which is, the team will release a statement around staking around the same time the action is taken for the updated staking pool.
Okay.
Sounds like someone's trying to get
in. Problem when my kids are doing something for school. I was trying to figure out what this question is, because you guys use acronyms and sometimes it's not easy because you're referring to something which is up there. Okay. I'll go to the next one, and then while Matt is answering the next one, I'll go back to this one. Are you happy with MK's current volume? If yes, status quo. Okay, at least they're fine there. If not, what are your plans and timeline to address it? Q4 2024, Q1 2025, etc.
I mean, are we talking about volume as in terms of like the week-to-week in-game volume, the tokens passing through?
They don't specify. I'm not sure if you want to cover.
The question once again is circulating back to volume on the mainnet for the MK token.
I mean, we can probably cover it with the game one, if you're more comfortable with talking about the game one, because you already mentioned the trading one a bit ago.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the game platform, I think that the volume, even just from last week, the volume indicates a pretty healthy amount of on game play, which I think is encouraging. I think it's good. Yeah. I can only imagine if we raise the betting limit, what that volume would look like. It would probably look significantly higher.
Okay. Meantime, I already figured out what the other previous question was. WP actually mentioned the user. Sorry, I thought it was a Tim for something that you guys were asking. Okay, so in case the option mentioned before about instead of staking going for centralized exchange, the question is, in case that doesn't happen, what about marketing? And I'm not talking about a very limited number of articles that is happening. Are we going to increase the marketing currently being done?
Yeah, like it's been said in every single AMA that I've been in for months now. Marketing is not just a set thing. We've been waiting for an increase or an uptick in the market. Like actual network utilization for weeks and weeks and weeks now. Gas alone on the Ethereum mainnet has been below zero, which is an indication that there's just no activity on chain happening. No activity means that nobody's really buying, nobody's doing anything. That just in the final days of last week, and it's only Tuesday now, but in the final days of last week, that started to change. And so, yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're going to continue to invest in marketing. It's a long game. It's not a short-term pump and dump scheme. So, I mean, for those that are advocating short-term pump and dump maneuvers, so they can find a nice, healthy exit position, I'm sorry, I'm not going to dictate a plan for you. But yes, we will continue to do marketing. That's the whole point of this project, is to bring new eyes to the platform. So,
question about the AMAs. A very good decision to have bi-weekly AMAs. But what will the team do if they want to announce something very big? Perhaps organize an extra one? How does the team see this? So I can actually answer this one, so I can give Matt a bit of time to recover his voice. In theory, we're going to keep the bi-weekly AMA, unless it's something really drastic, emergency, that we feel the need that we need to do an AMA. If there's anything massive that needs to be announced, we'll use the other channels that we have available, both the announcements here on Discord, the Twitter channels, the Telegram channels. If there's something that really, really needs to be attended to at a bit more personal level that requires me and Matt to be here talking with you guys, then yes, obviously we can organize an extra AMA. I hope that doesn't happen, because the only case I can see that an extra AMA is needed will be if something broke so badly that we need to do an intervention going on. And actually the last question here on the VC questions. Centralized exchange listing is the most cost-efficient way to attract new people. Can you guys be polite when you write your questions? I'm not going to read it like this. I don't get, because I have to censor with that in the middle, why you don't do that, because every one of your initiatives has failed. That's a bit harsh. Stop talking about the volume, because if the price fails, of course, people will be bet more, because the value of bets will be lower in money. Yeah. So the question is, if you think this is at least my interpretation, because this is honestly at the end of the day, this isn't actually a question. If you think that the centralized exchange listings is the most cost-efficient way of attracting new people, or if there are other ways.
I mean, it's hard to say. I personally don't think it's the most cost-efficient way, but that doesn't mean that I'm right. I think that there's a number of cost-efficient ways to get the project across the eyes of new potential players. One of the ones that I'm probably most strongly interested in is the partnership route, like we've just recently done. That was just announced today, and I know that we have a number of other ones that we've been approached by or approached ourselves, and that we have, the work on that front moving forward. And so I'm excited about that as well, because then you're starting to leverage not only their communities, but the additional communities or partnerships that they will partner with. It's expanding your network. I like that approach, but again, I'm not taking centralized listings off the table either. I mean, ultimately, in the long-term vision of the project, I see us doing all of these things. It's just a matter of timing and when it works the best.
Okay, and since we reached the because he's there, I was gonna say we reached the end of the VC questions. So yes. Oh, I don't have his jingle at hand. Oh, sorry, Time Bandit, no jingle today. I forgot to prepare it beforehand. Unless you want to do a live version of it.
That's good. It doesn't bother me. It's pretty cheesy anyway.
I like it. Come on, it's a good jingle. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm all right. I've got a question about the new partnership with Pigmo. Is it going to be able, are people on their site going to be able to come to our arena and play?
Yeah, so basically the idea behind this one is that Vanessa and Matt can correct me or add any extra information. But the idea behind this one is, like I said, add more utility to MK, so you won't be able to just use it in our arena, but also on their website. Doesn't mean that our arena is integrated in their website. Okay, so I know some of you were debating that before we announced the partnership, because you already kind of guessed there was going to be a casino sort of thing going on. But the arena stays where it is. It's fine. There's nothing changing. Obviously, any connection with MK, the main focus, it will always be the arena. The main difference is people will be able to get MK and then decide whether if they want to use it in the arena, if they want to use it on Pigmo, or if they want to use it on both sides. I can't go into much more details until we actually start, because there's a couple of things we still need to confirm with them if they are possible. But there should be a little thing going on their end that actually also helps increase the value of MK. But at a time when it's actually officially out, which, like I said, according to them, should be this week. They had a bit of a hiccup. The initial plan was Monday. That's why we already had the campaign prepared for today. But as soon as I know a bit more details, I can pretty much tell you all that happens when you bet on the Pigmo side. But going back to the original question, the idea is the same as it always was. People buy MK, they can do whatever they want with it. It's their MK, they can trade it only, they can use it on the arena, they can use it on Pigmo. But as in any situation, the idea is it will bring more people to MK, it will bring more people to buy MK and to use it, thus increasing the volume, which is the ultimate goal here.
Oh, okay. What's their incentive to do so? You know what I'm saying?
On their side, basically
Yes.
more
I mean,
people on that platform.
Let me clarify a minute. If I don't know anything about MK and I go to Pigmo and I see that I can use MK there, but I can buy Pigmo there too and use it, what's going to make people buy MK? Does that make sense?
Yes. So like I said, there's not much we can do on that part. I mean, people are free to choose whatever token they want, in the same way that if you go to the DEX and buy MK, you can also buy any other token. The main thing is we're going to run a couple of events with them to bring out MK and Meme Kombat into the eyes of their users as well, and thus bringing more attention to us. Which, like I said, that's our ultimate goal, is basically to bring more people into the Meme Kombat arena, into the environment in general.
Okay. And I also have a question about the staking pool, not what's been asked, but since the contract runs out October 1st, and how are we going to transfer that? That's kind of concerning me, and I think it's concerning some other people too.
What do you mean by transfer?
Well, I mean, like my tokens that I have staked, if that contract runs out while they're staked, what happens?
The contract is not the staking contract is not renounced. It's not that we don't have we haven't like relinquished control over that contract, so we can still make contract calls and change functions of the staking contract. And that's by design because it wasn't intended to be a throwaway contract. You won't have to do anything. It's not as an end user, you won't see any impact when October 1st comes around. So
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Yeah, because there's other projects where stuff like that has happened and people lost it, but I guess that's because it was renounced and there wasn't really anything people could do about it. And if I'm sounding weird, I apologize. When I started this call earlier, my laptop was on and then it crashed, and so I had to swap over to my phone.
no worries.
All good. We can still hear it loud and clear.
Okay. So that's pretty much all I've got. I mean, I know. Oh, there is one thing. I would kind of rather have no marketing than the last article where MK was put with some known rug pulls, and that's really not a good look, is it?
I mean, you have to take it for what it's worth. I mean, if MK is quote unquote a rug pull, it's the worst rug pull in history. Yeah, I mean, so
that's not what I was saying.
No. I know what time bandit means. I can answer this one. We weren't very happy with that one as well. It wasn't exactly what we were promised as well. What we got told at the time is, well, we're going to list it together with, at least I reached out to the marketing team and that's what they told me. We're going to list it together with a couple of other projects. That was okay. And the marketing team said, sure, fine. I mean, it's a mention to us and a bit of description. All good. And then we got that. And I was like, okay, cool. Even when I shared the link with you guys, I hadn't even looked at the other projects. I was like, okay, cool. This article's out. They sent me the link. And I shared it. And it was only after I shared it, I started looking at it and went, what the heck? This is a bit weird. So yeah, we went exactly with our one. Not the proudest article that we got mentioned in.
But yeah, hey, I've got to go. I've got a bunch of stuff crashing around here. So y'all have a good one. We'll see you next 2 weeks, I guess. I'm still here. I know some people are getting concerned about the price, and of course, that is a concern. But I'm in it for the long haul. I know a bunch of people are too. So I guess it's just put your seatbelt on and sit back and relax, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to having a more uplifting conversation during the next AMA for sure. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that certain factions of people don't leave me feeling kind of beaten down, especially coming into this AMA today. But at the end of the day, I'm only human and stuff, and so I'm trying to keep my spirits as high as possible, and then also continuing to just put my head down and focus on the work that I feel is most impactful and most positive for the project, and that's really what my focus is. But I think over the next 2 weeks will be a real pivotal moment for the project, and I'm looking forward to having probably a much more uplifting conversation during that one.
Well, sounds good to me. Y'all keep up the good work, and the platform is performing well on my end. I kind of like it when Pepe 2 disappears. I call him the Magic Man now.
Don't say that. I said there was no bugs for 4 weeks, and then it crashed during the weekend. So as typical. It was only 1 hour, but that was enough. It was a very stressful hour for me. I can tell that much.
It was a quick fix. I mean, used to it would take half a day to fix it. Now it's an hour. That's an improvement. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Adios, guys.
See you. Okay, and answering your question, I know someone's pinging me several times about this one. Okay, so it says, I thought Matt's main argument of not using a centralized exchange was not to send MK tokens away from the platform. Now we deliberately do it with some casinos' wallets. Tier 2 centralized exchanges is tens of thousands of tokens, nothing that bad. Okay, so again, we are still partly covered by the NDA until the thing gets officially released, so that's why I'm not covering this too much. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe? I don't know. It could be between tomorrow and Friday. They haven't given me a specific date. That's why. Unlike Matt, I'm not going to give you a date because otherwise you already pinged me enough as it is because of this. The tokens that the casino that Pigmo has are, how can I put this without breaking the NDA? They are going to be stored in a very particular way so the amount that they have at the moment is not going to increase. I mean, it is going to increase temporarily, but not in total. So we actually have that as part of a promotional case and not so much as the part for a centralized exchange. Okay? Like I said, when it gets released, we can go a bit more into details what happens with the tokens that get better there and what's happening with Pigmo. But until then, I can't break NDAs, otherwise the entire thing goes down the drain. I don't think anyone would be happy with that. Especially because you have to remember, this goes on YouTube, so it's not a case of, oh yeah, no, let me tell you a little secret, but don't tell anyone. Okay, I don't see any more questions.
So I think about 50 minutes now, so I think call it here, and then obviously we have some communications that need to come out to the community in written form, so we'll focus on that and make sure that happens.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time, Matt. Thank you very much for everyone that was here, whether you have questions or you're just curious about the update. Like we mentioned, the next AMA is going to be in 2 weeks' time, which is, looking at my calendar now, on the 8th of October. Before that, we will and should have announcements both for the next update and announcements about the new rules and the new features on the staking pool and how it works. So keep an eye out. Like I said, we'll ping you like crazy, and we'll have our full release in Pigmo. And when that happens, then we can also release the details on that, because by then we won't be breaking the NDA anymore. Okay, bye bye people. Bye bye Matt, and see you in 2 weeks time.
Bye.